program Tyrone Bowman Live, the program that brings commentary and analysis on events and news stories that have already occurred. Tyrone Bowman Live, unfiltered, unapologetic. This is what we do on this channel. All right, we have to have this conversation about Ms. Jackson because her appalling silence after making insidious statements about the race of Vice President Kamala Harris just doesn't sit well with us. For a long time, we have loved the Jackson Five, Michael Jackson, the entire Jackson family. We grew up on all their music because they are part of us. They're part of our culture. They're part of our heritage. Motown records, long before they were discovered by the other people who took over their careers and took them away from their own people, long before they got that all white staff and things of that nature. They belong to us first. So let's talk about this article as published in the Culture and Arts section of the HuffPost, short for Huffington Post. The headline reads, Janet Jackson should have thought twice about questioning Kamala Harris's race. The singer repeated a false claim about the vice president's racial identity. Based on a right-wing conspiracy theory, she should have known better. How about based on a MAGA lie that was fostered, aided, and abetted, and nurtured by Donald Trump? It all started with him when he was questioning her identity, the same thing that he did with former President Barack Obama. They don't get to define to us who is acceptable within our community. So the article reads as follows. Janet Jackson showed how misinformed she is about Kamala Harris's identity when she repeated a false claim about the Democratic nominee's race in a recent interview with The Guardian. So let's go back in time to her original statement. Quote, well, you know what they supposedly said. She's not black. That's what I heard, that she's Indian. Jackson said in response to reporter Nosheen Iqbal's remark about America possibly voting in its first black female president. And for the record, Harris is both black and Indian. Well, if she did not know all the facts as she claimed she didn't, well, why would she even go on hearsay? After all, she should know the damage that hearsay can do. The things that they allegedly said about the late Michael Jackson. The Jackson family didn't like it, and we didn't like it. The things that they said allegedly about her, she didn't like it, and we didn't like it. Individuals could talk about all the plastic surgery that Janet Jackson has had. But that's a topic she doesn't like to discuss. So then she went on to say, Jackson seemingly doubled down on the mischaracterization when she repeated another falsehood she said she'd heard about the vice president. Quote, her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white, close quote. What do you mean that's what you were told? By who? See, this thing has to be questioned as a journalist. By who? Who told you? You have to back it up by substantiated facts. Now she sounded like Donald Trump. And for a long time, the Jackson family, they've been devout Jehovah's Witnesses. And Jehovah's Witnesses don't get involved in politics. They do not vote. They do not protest. They did not participate in the civil rights movement. So why all of a sudden is she interjecting herself in this conversation regarding the identity of the vice president? It is clearly evident that there's something amiss here. and she's hiding behind her handlers and not speaking for herself. Jenna doesn't even live in America anymore. She moved to London. It's unclear who exactly told Jackson these untrue details about Harris. The singer has been unavailable to clarify her comments as she mourns the death of her brother Tito Jackson. Condolences to her and the entire Jackson family. A man named Mo El Masra, claiming to be Jackson's manager, issued an apology on her behalf Sunday, telling BuzzFeed the singer made remarks about Harris based on misinformation and that she apologized for any confusion caused. But Jackson's representatives later stated that as, as Myra was not in fact her manager and was not authorized to speak on her behalf. Something is wrong here. Something doesn't add up. Something doesn't sound right. Somebody's telling the truth and somebody is not being forthright here. So what is it? Either the person is the manager and the PR department, this sounds like something that the PR department put together. And what it seems like there's a personal vendetta, a personal grudge. I believe I'm right on this. There's a personal vendetta, a personal grudge, a personal axe to grind that Janet has with Vice President Kamala Harris. It will all come out eventually. It will. All you have to do is be patient. It will come out. The whole sequence of events left fans baffled. But what's especially troubling was Jackson propagating right-wing lies of the sort spewed by former President Donald Trump. Regardless of whether Jackson was aware of what she was doing, it shows how celebrities can play a dangerous role in the age of misinformation, especially amid the current election cycle. However, there's blame to go around for the singer's missteps. She clearly got in her info from the wrong place, and the source of those lies is what's most important here. Some may remember when Trump spoke at the National Association of Black Journalists convention this summer. While on stage with a panel of black reporters, he incorrectly claimed that Harris had all of a sudden become a black person and falsely suggested that she'd misled voters about her race. Trump questioned the vice president's identity again during their first presidential debate on September 10th. Pause. Who is he to question and to determine who is black enough? That's the problem with a lot of white folk. They always want to characterize us. They want to name us. They want us to bow down to what they think that we're supposed to be. That time is over. We are who we are, period. No one asked him about his German heritage or his father's alleged ties to the KKK. No one asked him if he is white enough, Anglo-Saxon enough, European enough. No one asked him that. So who is he to define who is of African descent, African heritage among our people? Trump does not get to define who we are. Not him or Vance. You don't tell us who we are. You don't tell us about our culture because you know nothing about our culture. Just because you party with Diddy and other black celebrities, that don't make you black. And then you lied and said you never knew the man, and there are pictures floating all across the internet and social media with you partying with him. You don't get to define our heritage and our ancestry. No, it's not going down like that. And Janet should be intelligent enough and grown enough, because she's almost 60, to know when something is real and when something is not real. Stop hiding behind your publicist. Stop hiding behind your manager. Stop hiding behind your handlers. You're a grown woman. You can speak for yourself. That's one of the main problems with people always doing stuff And then I'm talking about celebrities now, always saying stuff and doing stuff, and then you want to hide behind the people behind a secure, safe wall that your wealth provided for you. If you're woman enough to say it in the interview, be woman enough to own up to it and admit it. That's all I'm saying here. We still love you. We're not going to disown you. We love the entire Jackson family. If anybody attacks y'all, we attack them. Because we're all part of the same culture. Bottom line. So it's not about us disowning you. You are one of us. So these are just a few of many instances where he and others on the far right have used racial attacks against Harris. Republicans and so-called conservative media have baselessly called Harris's blackness into question in recent months, criticizing her for using different accents on the campaign trail and even calling her a DEI hire. So what? I speak in code. Please, it's called code switching. That's what we do. When we're in corporate America, we speak one way. When we're with our people, we speak in a different dialect. Bottom line. You think I'll wear a shirt and tie and speak proper 24 hours a day? You must be out of your right mind. When I'm among my people and among my friends, it's entirely different. Coming before camera is entirely different. And because Kamala Harris is a lady and doesn't just cuss y'all straight out and tell y'all off, which is what y'all want her to do, but she's running a smart campaign. She's doing an excellent job of campaigning. She has raised over $1 billion, and Trump can't handle that. Over $1 billion she has raised. Her crowds, audiences are larger than his. Harris is loved. Vice President Harris is respected and admired by women of color everywhere. And if you don't think a lot of these GOP, MAGA conservative women are not going to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, you've lost your darn mind. They're going to lie to you the way y'all lie to them about your mistresses and your peccadillos, along with your insidiocratic behavior. And they're going to go right into that booth and they're going to vote for Vice President Harris. And as for Marjorie Taylor Greene, loudmouth, I could call her some other names, but wouldn't be too nice, so I'll just use loudmouth, big mouth. She definitely is no Vice President Harris. Folks like Whoopi Goldberg said people should give Jackson a little grace for making a mistake. Sure. However, per The Guardian, the singer received pushback for her comments during her interview and was even given another chance to acknowledge that Harris is indeed a black woman. The bottom line is that Jackson should have taken a moment to pause and walk back her fumbled statements. Instead, when asked if America is ready for Harris to become president, given her racial identity, the singer replied, "I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes is going to be mayhem." What the heck is that supposed to mean? Take a position. Take a stand. Stop being on the fence. Stop thinking about the bottom line product and offending this group and offending that group, and they won't come to your concerts and all that silly stuff. She's rich enough and famous enough if she never performs again. It is fair to say that at some point Jackson should issue her own apology to Harris and acknowledge the harm of repeating inaccurate information during a crucial moment in American politics. That's the very point. Be woman enough to speak for yourself. See, this is the reason why I can't be involved in acting and singing and politics. I am a straightforward guy. You ask me something recklessly out of your mouth, I'm gonna straighten your behind out, Jack. And you can speak stupid out of your mouth to me if you want to, and think, I'm going to sit across from the other table and listen to some interviewer speaking recklessly because somebody's in their ear, you'll find out you got the right black man, baby. Because this black man will straighten you out on camera. We're not going to break. Whole interview will be over. Table turned upside down. Microphones thrown across the hall someplace. I'm not a mealy mouthed black man. I say what's on my mind. I'm unapologetically not going to apologize for the things I say. You go tell white Trump to apologize for the trash and garbage that he keeps saying about Harris. It's fair to say that at some point, I said that, Jackson should issue her own apology to Harris and acknowledge the harm of repeating inaccurate information during a crucial moment in American politics. Considering her history as a pop icon, she can be expected to know better than to speak about something she's not sure of in an interview. Moreover, as someone who's been on the receiving end of unfair controversy, and she has, Jackson should have been more careful than to stir up trouble for Harris, especially by raising doubt about her identity. So she is doing the dirty work for the MAGAites, unwittingly. You know, somebody comes to me and tells me something as a criminal justice major, you better back it up by solid evidence when you're talking to me. No one wants to vilify Jackson for speaking out of turn, but it's okay to be a fan and still hold a grown woman accountable for her actions. I mean, Taylor Swift outright endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, and she could care less about what MAGA had to say, or Trump had to say, or Vance had to say, or anybody else. Taylor Swift made her decision, an informed, intelligent decision, and she endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris, and that was the end of it. She didn't need a spokesperson to speak for her. She spoke for herself. So hopefully, Jackson learned a lesson here and will think twice next time before questioning what's already been proven true. Think about it. Let me ask you this question in closing. How would you like it if somebody questioned everything about you, your heritage, your culture, your race, your family? You wouldn't like it, would you? No, because it doesn't feel good. I know who I am. I know the heritage I come from, and I'm proud of it. And this is the reason why Tyrone Bowman Live is unfiltered, uncompromising, and unapologetic. Because we bring a different point of view. And when I come before this camera, I'm talking to my people. The content that I make, others are welcome to watch it, welcome to subscribe. But my targeted audience is my people. We got enough of the other networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, the racist and bigoted networks, and all these other outlets. That's why we have Black Information Network. BET was once black owned, but it's not anymore. It's owned by Sumner. It's owned by Sumner Redstone and his family. If you don't believe me, go look up the board of directors for Paramount, BET. He owns it all. And they don't look like us. The real blackness in BET left a long time ago. The program that they have is just buffoonery. They think we can just sing and dance and tap dance and make corny, dumb jokes. You know? We're not singing and tap dancing for folk no more. We can do more than just be athletes. We can do more than just entertain people. The late Sammy Davis Jr., when he had an epiphany and had an awakening, a consciousness awakening, he realized who he really was and embraced his blackness. Janet, embrace who you are. Be the woman that you are. and stop speaking based upon what somebody said. Never surrender, never quit.